Lawyers challenging the emergency communication law have waived their rights to object to Justice Stephen Opong hearing the case over possible bias. Justice Opong on Tuesday informed the lawyers he had previously worked in a law firm representing one of the defendants in the case. He said he had worked at the Kumasi branch of the law firm Minka Premo & Co., which represents the National Communications Authority in this matter. Private legal practitioner Francis Kwarting Arthur is in court challenging the law signed by President Akufo-Addo, saying it violates mobile users' rights to privacy. The emergency legislation signed by the president on March 24 seeks to provide legal backing to a series of steps undertaken by government to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic. The law specifically directs network operators to make available data, including all call numbers, mobile money merchant codes, and uncashed subscriber mobile money transfer data. The lawyers representing Mr. Arthur currently have an application for injunction before the court. Blood donor organizations or organizers are going through perhaps the most difficult period of mobilizing the life-saving commodity due to the coronavirus pandemic. Not even the lifting of the partial lockdown has eased the struggle of blood bank officials at the Konfanoti Children's Hospital to attract donors in their effort to replenish and maintain stocks. Nana Sensumenta has more.
So on a normal mobilization day, that is the partnership between Multimedia Kumasi and Konfanoti Teaching Hospital, brings donors to give at least 65 to 70 pints of blood in quarterly initiative. But now the story is different because blood donors organizers have been spending hours daily here at the forecourt of Multimedia Kumasi, that is Love FM and Inshire FM, only to realize 7 to 8 pints every day. Though officials have been hopeful the lifting of the lockdown would attract better responses, expected improvement has been marginal. Christian Opong Mensah is Deputy Chief Blood Donor Manager at Konfanoti Teaching Hospital.
Whenever we used to, before the COVID-19, we used to organize blood donation with Love FM, at least we tend to have between 250 to 300 donors coming up. But as we speak, today we've had only 7 donors coming. A lot of our donors, I think, fear to come out to donate. In fact, we used to transfuse patients, those in Konfanoti and those outside Konfanoti, because district hospital and private hospital depend on the blood bank of Konfanoti for blood. We used to at least transfuse or issue blood at least about 70 units of blood a day. But as we speak, though the demand for blood has fallen to around 35 to 40, but the supply right now is not meeting the demand. As we speak with the COVID-19 scenario, we are not getting enough blood as compared to the demand for blood at the hospital.
Meanwhile, Jackson Education Complex in Kumasi has reached out to the blood bank in such difficult times, together with the Kumasi Center for Collaborative Research. The two institutions received 25,000 Ghana cedis, with KCCR bagging 20,000 of the amount. Theodosia Jackson is Chief Executive of Jackson Education Complex.
This second donation is to the blood bank at Konfanoti Hospital. Love FM made me aware. In fact, over the years, I have been advocating, appealing to people to donate blood to hospitals. So this year, they made me aware the season is up. But unfortunately, the banks are depleted with blood. So quickly, something has to be done. And he made me aware that the representative from Love FM made me aware that because of the lockdown, they need money for transportation for the donors. So we decided to just contribute our quota to help in this direction, because blood is life. And assuming someone goes to deliver and the person needs blood, the person will die. Someone has been involved in an accident and that person needs blood. It's not the accident that will kill, but the person will die.
Nana Asensumensa reporting for Joy News.
Still to come on the bulletin, Deputy Health Minister Dr. Okoboy has revealed that despite the increased number of deaths of persons from cerebrospinal meningitis (CSM) in the Upper West region, the situation is under control.
Of a new strain is early reporting, because every strain can be treated. The only thing is that you must receive the case early so that you can save lives.
Details after this. Thanks for staying with us. Now, Deputy Health Minister Dr. Okoboy has revealed that despite the increased number of deaths of persons from cerebrospinal meningitis (CSM) in the Upper West region, the situation is under control. Using the number of cases treated and discharged at the various hospitals to back his claim, Dr. Okoboy stated that all 273 cases have been treated and discharged, except 4 who are still receiving treatment. Rafiq Salam reports from Wa.
Shortly after his whistle-stop meeting with members of the Upper West Region's Public Health Emergency Management Committee, which was held behind closed doors, Deputy Health Minister Dr. Bernard Okoboy paid a courtesy call on the overlord of the Wala traditional area, now Hussein City Pilpo IV.
As I speak, we have had 43 fatalities or deaths from the CSM epidemic. But we had over 273 cases. So the fatality rate is around 15%. I must say that the WHO allowed fatality rate, it's somewhere 10%. So 15% is unfortunate. But I am happy to say that as we speak today, the situation is under control, thanks to the hard work of our regional team. As I speak, there is only 1 case in the Nadoli Hospital, about 3 cases in Nandom, and there is no case in Jirapa. That is very refreshing to know.
Dr. Bernard Okoboy, accompanied by Deputy Upper West Regional Minister Amidu Chine Isaku, then rolled out of town and headed to the Jiroba municipality. Jiroba municipality recorded 50 suspected cases of CSM, 16 confirmed positive, and 7 deaths. He first met the municipal chief executive, Christine Bombanya Amadou, before interacting with members of the Public Health Emergency Management Committee. He also visited the St. Joseph's Hospital, where he interacted with staff and nurses. The nurses had concerns over the delay in test results of suspected cases of CSM and payment of risk allowance.
Risk allowances for our nurses that have been a call, and you are happy to be part of us. You know the challenges. So I'm not happy His Excellency has appointed you to be part of the crew, so you can give the technical know-how about the situation. So that has been the appeal of my nurses and my midwife, the municipality and the Ghana as a whole.
The Deputy Minister further moved up north and to the Nandom District. The Nandom District recorded 93 suspected cases of CSM, 37 probable cases, and 13 deaths. Jenny Bivide is the Nandom District Director of Health Services.
That Nandom, every year we have meningitis cases, and we see it's not too clear as to which communities report the cases because it keeps on changing over years. We will actually be grateful if the Directorate will be supported to conduct a colonization survey to be able to determine where these infections or communities that are affected are coming from. We will also be grateful if we could get the support to conduct massive active case search. What we have observed is that with the COVID-19 cases, we are no longer COVID-19 situation. We are no longer seeing the cases as we used to see them. We are not too sure whether they are in the homes or they are really not available.
Dr. Okoboy gave his impression of the tour.
I think the immediate recommendation would be to intensify the education. In fact, because the best tool you have in the face of a new strain is early reporting. Because every strain can be treated. The only thing is that you must receive the case early so that you can save lives. So as for education, we must involve the media, we must get a lot of ambassadors and tell people that once you feel a fever or headache, just get closer to the hospital. That's the first one. The second one, too, more or less will be a legacy of both CSM and COVID, which is to help refurbish the isolation centers that are available that cover the districts. There are treatment centers being built in all the regions. In Accra, we are having some at Tema General Ridge Hospital. You have some coming up in Ga East. You have some in Kumasi. I have cited documents at the ministry that is voting money into refurbishment of treatment centers. And I believe strongly that this particular area also should get at least some refurbishment of its isolation center, so that when you get an infectious case, you can comfortably isolate it.
Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam. Wow.
Let's go back to talking about COVID, and the aviation minister, Joseph Kofi Adda, says disinfection of Ghana's airports has become necessary and will now become a regular exercise to make it a safer place for all. Speaking to Joy News as over 100 sprayers disinfect the Kotoka International Airport, he stated the Ghana Airports Company Limited has been hit hard by the pandemic and will soon come out with figures of the financial loss. Maxwell Akbakba has more.
Well, it's a disinfection exercise here at the Kotoka International Airport. We are very close to the tarmac here at the KIA, where more than 100 sprayers are taking part in today's disinfection exercise. We are told by the head of the disinfection team at Zoom Lion that they are not only disinfecting the tarmac, they also disinfected all the offices here and all the open spaces here at the Kotoka International Airport. We are told that this exercise is taking place simultaneously across the country. We have the Takrady Airport, we have the Tamale Airport, and then other airports as well have been disinfected even as this exercise goes on. Well, we are told that this exercise is to get rid of the COVID-19. We're told that the substance being used in the disinfection exercise is the chlorine, and the chlorine more or less deactivates or destroys the potency of the coronavirus. So when I spoke to the head of the disinfection team here, he told me that this has become necessary because the airport is actually the entry points into the country, and we know that our first two cases were recorded from the airports. They were imported cases, so it is important for this place to be disinfected. We know that the spraying team here is using the atomizing evaporator. They're also using what they call has various functions. It can sweep the street, it can spray the streets, and it can do quite a lot. And we've seen the personnel here going around disinfecting the whole airport. We asked also whether this is going to be a regular exercise. We were told by the head of the disinfection team that yes, there are some places here at the airport considered as high risk, and those places would definitely be disinfected regularly here at the Kotoka International Airport. Well, we also met the Deputy Minister for Aviation. We asked him whether he's able to tell us how much.
Let's go live to Maxwell now. He is stationed at one of the terminals. Maxwell, what's the latest there?
Well, the disinfection exercise has ended on Terminal 2, and then on the tarmac here at the Kotoka International Airport. Where we are right now is a new Terminal 3, where the disinfection exercise is taking place currently. You can see some of the workers there using chlorine to clean, the railings and then some other parts of the places here at the, Terminal 3. But have with me here the head of the Vector Control Unit at Zoom Lion. He's in charge of the disinfection exercise here. Let's find out from him what the exercise here is going to be like. So you're welcome to join us.
Thank you.
Great. So tell us, what will be happening here at Terminal 3? We've seen what has happened at Terminal 2, Terminal 1, and then the tarmac. What's exactly be happening here?
At Terminal 3, now Terminal 3 is for international travel. And as President was speaking, we said the COVID-19 is a spotted one. It means that it passes through, or it passed through Terminal 3 before coming to Ghana. And therefore, if we are doing disinfection, then we have to pay a critical attention to Terminal 3. So in Terminal 3, as we have done in Terminal 2, we are going to do all the surfaces, the possible surfaces that is likely that there may be viruses, bacteria, because these are things that we can't see with our naked eyes, and we don't want to take things for granted. So we want to take our time, gently make sure that everything is disinfected. When we finish with the wiping of all the assets here, you know what they are doing there, because we don't want to subject this area to water or liquid. So we are using napkin and other thing mixed with a chemical to do the cleaning effectively, so that no water will get to any of their gadgets. Aside that, we are going to do the floor, because they can also stay on floors. These viruses can stay on the floor. So we'll do everything possible to ensure that every inch or any cubic meter on the floor is disinfected. And when we do that, we know that the possibility of getting the virus through here will be slim. But what we are saying is, we cannot just do one and then we say that is all. It should be a continual process. A continual process in the sense that this area being area that people come daily contact, we must have a daily disinfection, which means that when the janitors are mopping, their water should contain a chemical that will reduce any infection. Aside that, areas that if you go to the migration site, over there too, they should have a daily disinfection. So, which is very crucial at this moment. If you move from here, if you go to the way, when there's a way that they use to get to the plane, all those areas are also needed to be disinfected. We are going to do them today, and we wish that there could be a periodic plan. If I say periodic, not a periodic like weekly, there should be areas that should be cleaned on the weekly basis. There should be areas that should be cleaned on the daily basis, and there should be areas that should be like the tarmac, that we can make it monthly or quarterly. Yeah, which is very important.
Thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you just heard from the head of Vector Control Unit and the head of the disinfection team here at the Kotoka International Airport. On a normal day, it's difficult to get access to the KIA, but today we have that access. You can see how empty this place looks. When you come here, the only people you find here are the ones busy KIA, the workers, and then the personnel of the Ghana Immigration Service. On a normal day, you'll find people milling around, doing their check-ins and all of that. That is not happening, as the president has extended the closure of our borders. So what it means is that the airport doors still remain shut. Ghana's airspace still remains shut to passenger planes. And this is how empty the place looks like. So the disinfection exercise, would continue here. We understand that from here they'll be going to the car park, which is also empty. Usually you find a lot of taxis. You find people sitting outside waiting to get your attention. But all
Maxwell,
of that is
thank you very much
here today, Daniel.
Right, Maxwell, thank you very much for bringing us those updates. Interesting images there of an empty Terminal 3. Let's move to other issues. And the former Council of State member and Paramount Chief of Guli is asking traditional leaders across the country not to be silent on the scores of lives being lost on our roads. Guli Na Seidu Brima says it is time chiefs led the crusade against road crashes, which claim about 2,000 lives yearly. Throwing his support behind Joy News' Arrive Alive campaign, Nasiru Brima said, since road safety is a collective responsibility, every Ghanaian must be interested in this campaign.
Arrive Alive. First of all, let me say how grateful I am to you people, always championing and leading the way forward. Arrive Alive is a very important program, which I think that we should all accept. So the whole of Ghana, my people in Upper West here, Let us all focus on this very issue and see it as something that affects our very lives, whether you will travel or not. But your relation definitely will travel. Your children will travel. In this country, if you don't travel, at the end of the day, we can't make progress. So, and when we are on the road, especially those, the drivers, when you sit on wheels, know that you are carrying precious lives. And it will be your prayer to make sure that, let me get these people, let me get the passengers, let me get those who are in the truck, those that I am driving. Make sure that they get safely to their destinations. By then, you will thank Almighty Allah. If they don't get to their destination, it casts a slur on you. How will you feel? You are driving people and suddenly you crash. People lose their lives.
Still live on Joy News today with me, Daniel Daze. Coming up in business, non-performing loans declined significantly to hit a little over 6 billion cedis ending February this year. That's in business right after this.
Welcome to sports here on Joy News today. We go to our first story, and dethroned IBF lightweight champion Richard Comey says that he is ready for a rematch against reigning champion Teofimo Lopez. The Ghanaian boxer lost his title after the defeat to Lopez at the Madison Square Garden in New York on December 14 last year. But Comey, who is eager to reclaim the title, will be delighted with a rematch after COVID-19.
Yeah, most definitely. Why not? You know, because this fight ended up unexpectedly. So, I mean, we all made mistakes and accidents do happen in boxing. So, but I don't think he'll be willing to give me a rematch. But if he does, oh man, I'll be very, very grateful, because I'll be calling out. If he can get me Teofimo, you can hear me out. If you're willing to give me, let's do it again, please. But first off, I need to get back. I need to come back first, and then we'll see if he ain't. Because if he didn't have anyone to fight here, then definitely I'll be willing to, put my request across and see if he can give it to me.
And after almost 2 years of showing an anti-graft investigation involving Ghana Football Association officials, the Tiger IPI investigative organization has given the current administration the raw footage of the number 12 expose. There's more in the following report.
Tiger IPI, owned by investigative journalist Anas Arimeyal Anas, on June 6, 2018, premiered the story meant to uncover some unscrupulous behavior in the Ghanaian football fraternity. The Executive Council in February this year requested for the raw footage of the number 12 expose in order to deal with the matter, which remains one of the key compliance and integrity demands from FIFA. According to the GFA, the videos are key components of the Ethics Committee in its work on this governance issue. Officials of Tiger IPI have also assured the GFA of their preparedness to assist the Ethics Committee in its work.